Good morning and welcome to Music Sunday. My name is Bryan Baker. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm the Director of Music here at UUCB.
Good morning. My name is Katya Kolesnikova. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the organist here at UUCB. We will begin with words by William Shakespeare. How sweet the moonlight sleeps upon this bank. Here will we sit and let the sounds of music creep in our ears. Soft stillness and the night become the touches of sweet harmony.
And the words of James Joyce from his collection Chamber Music. Strings in the earth and air make sweet music, strings by the river where the willows meet. There's music along the river, for love wanders there, pale flowers on his mantle, dark leaves on his hair, all softly playing with head to the music bent and fingers straying upon an instrument.
Here is what William O'Shaughnessy wrote. We are the music makers, and we're the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams, world losers and world forsakers, upon whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and the shakers of the world forever, it seems.
After World War II, the Japanese violin teacher Shinichi Suzuki devoted his life to teaching music in a way that cultivated sensitivity, compassion, and cooperation. Applying Buddhist techniques, he developed what's now known as the Suzuki method, based on using group music making to encourage a more peaceful and harmonious world. Today's service focuses on playing well with others, duets, trios, chamber music, choral music, how joining together and singing or playing helps bring us together and helps us richly engage in a musical and life experience. We practice patience, self-reflection, empathy, and cooperation. We grow more sensitive not only to the sounds we make, but also to the playing and singing of others. We build community. We connect more closely to the web of life.
The words of Khalil Gibran point towards the most essential. Music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace, abolishing strife.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Berkeley on this Music Sunday. My name is Karen Elliott, and I'm today's worship associate. If this is your first time here, we're so glad you've come. This is a welcoming congregation, and we're always working on how to better welcome and care for each other. Today, like every other day, we welcome you in the fullness of who you are.
As we begin, we want to acknowledge that this church is on land in the unceded territory of the Chochenyo-speaking Ohlone people. And we understand that we continue to benefit from the seizure and occupation of this land. We acknowledge and embrace our responsibility to take restorative action. We reaffirm that this is deeply felt and commit our congregation to right relationship with Indigenous communities, aligning in solidarity and supporting Indigenous projects and caring properly for the land.
Please take a moment now to prepare yourself and your space for our time together today. You might get a candle and a way to light it so you can join in the chalice lighting at home. Let us kindle our candles, or the inner flames of our hearts, with the words of Alice Anacheka Nasiman, grounding in our faith. In a time of uncertainty, when everything around us is changing constantly, each day new developments, rising numbers, changing guidelines. When the world we live in suddenly seems upside down and topsy-turvy, we light our chalice to remind ourselves of our grounding in our faith. We remember that the flaming chalice came into being as a beacon of hope during World War II, a secret symbol that offered help. In the midst of it all, we wrap ourselves in the warm light of a familiar flame, a reminder of the strength that emerges when we come together in community.
I invite you now to share in the comments by writing, "I carry the flame" in whatever town, city, or neighborhood you're joining us from today. And now it's time to sing. I hope you'll join us for our opening song, Come and Go With Me, number 1018 in the Teal hymnal. The words will be on the screen.
Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. We're all bound, we're all bound. Come and
join with us in saying the unabridged version of our covenant, adopted unanimously by our congregation in 2007. We covenant to build a religious community guided by love and sustained by respectful relationships. Believing that building healthy relationships is a spiritual practice, we aim to listen appreciatively, speak with care, express gratitude, honor our differences, and assume good intentions.
We endeavor to communicate directly, honestly, and compassionately, particularly when we are in conflict. When we hurt one another, we will try to forgive, make amends, and reconnect in a spirit of love. In celebration of the common purposes that unite us, we will do our best to abide by this covenant.
Hey there, I'm the Reverend Catherine Boyle. My pronouns are she, hers, hers, and this is the time for all ages. So if you're young or young at heart, get close and get cozy, because today we have an ancient tale from a faraway land. This story is called The Sun and the Wind, and it comes to us from ancient Greece. With that, let us begin. The sun and the wind were arguing with each other. "I am stronger than you," boasted the wind to the sun. "No, I am stronger than you are," the sun declared very emphatically. While the two were thus contradicting each other, they looked down upon the earth and saw a person walking along the road. Sight of this person gave Sun an idea. "Let's make an experiment," Sun said. "Let us see which one of us can make this lady take off her cloak. The one who succeeds will plainly be the strongest." The wind remembered how many times he had torn down huge houses and blown down giant trees twice as tall as this person on the road. He said to himself, "Surely I can tear that cloak off this woman's back." So the wind gave his consent to the experiment. "Very well," said the sun. So he hid behind a cloud and waited, trying to peep through a tiny, tiny crack to watch the wind in action. The wind then began. At first, he blew only moderately fast, then harder and more furiously. He pounded, he slapped, he whirled, he jerked. But the louder he roared and the faster he blew, the more closely the traveler wrapped her cloak around her, shivering in the cold. Finally, angry at the traveler and peeved at himself, the wind had to give up. Oh. And then the sun came out from behind the cloud and began in all his glory to shine down upon the woman. The sun did not move or make a sound. Its warm sunbeams reached quietly down and around until they touched everything with their warmth below. Soon the traveler began to feel warm. She opened her cloak to feel cooler. Before long, she was so hot, she flung her cloak off entirely and carried it on her arm. "Ha," said the sun, "it seems like our argument is settled. You could not make that traveler take off her cloak, but I have not only made her take it off, I have made her keep it off." The wind could find no words to which to answer the sun, so he went off in his usual blustery way and did not argue anymore. The strength of the wind is like the strength of a strong giant who overcomes others only by hurting them. But the strength of the sun is like the strength of love that warms the heart. May the love of this community warm our hearts as brightly as the sun.
So thank you all for joining in to talk about what you like about singing in choir. And so there's lots and lots of proven health benefits for singing in choir, both physiological and sort of in brain development. It sort of makes us smarter and protects our brains in lots of ways when we continue to sing. And it does all kinds of good things for the body's immune responses, and it releases those nice pheromones which make us feel good. But there's the music and there's the company. And so, who would like to talk about what singing with other people means to them?
I'll put it in a few brief words, really brief. It makes me happy. And there's, not that many things that you can instantaneously say make you happy. And singing in the company of wonderful people who love to sing, it's just joyous.
I'll say something. I think for me, it feeds the soul. It just goes straight to my soul. And very much in a physical way too. All the things you mentioned, Bryan, exercising, the exercise we do for warm-ups and all of that. But for me, really, it's the soul. It's particularly the pieces that we've sung that Bryan has selected have been just straight to the heart. And yeah, it's a very spiritual thing for me as well.
For me, I've been singing all my life, and it's just when when I've heard people say, well, oh, I can't sing, or my teacher told me not to sing, or were put down, that I decided to have a certain focus about singing to heal that in people. And we know that singing is healing. So to cajole and to bring out people's singing voices, and then they find that it is so powerful, healing for themselves, and then a gift that they can offer others to make other people happy. And it's a loop of this healing and beauty and harmony that we offer each other.
That is so true. When I've been in small groups, a cappella groups, I can actually feel the entity we create by singing together. We create life, and that is the music and the soul and everything coming together. And I'm getting chills now, right now, talking about it. It keeps me sane. It's music, singing is such a direct connection to that which is greater than myself. I mean, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in music.
I grew up in choirs. I sang in a children's choir when I was quite small. I started studying violin at 9 years old, playing in an orchestra. That's not dissimilar, actually, in terms of my experience, because you got to keep the beat, you got to be on pitch, all of those factors. It's language and it's life experience. And it put me in a different place, all through what we call middle school now, junior high into high school. And I sang in the choir all the way through. And then as a graduate student, I took a 2-year seminar in African music. And the music was in a very different place for the African people. And so we would study their instruments, learn how to play them. We would see these films of these people in their social context. And every day, the tribes that we were studying would come back after the day out of hunting or berry picking or whatever, digging up roots, and they would sing their day's experience.
Oh.
And suddenly, something gelled for me. That was in grad school. And that really affected my whole outlook on the role of music for all of us. Now, when we get up there as a choir on the chancel, and we start to tune into each other, and our voices become that, I'm going to use the word harmony for lack of a better term, about the harmony of our voices, just the sound mixing together. It's just, I can feel some kind of a communal uplifting. I mean, we're all looking at you, Bryan, and at the same time, we're all experiencing this together, and it's such a unity. My dog is trying to join in.
So thank you all, and I wanted to ask about the piece we sang most recently. It's called "We Shall Be Known by the Company We Keep." And Everly, I think you know this piece pretty well, and you sing the solo right at the beginning.
Well, we taught this to hundreds of people in a ceremony, and did a call response, and had everybody raise their voices, singing, and we were in a circle. And the words, of course, turning, when we're talking about turning, it's based on Joanna Macy's work, Turning, The Great Turning, Joanna Macy's Great Turning. And it's just fantastic. I mean,
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to 10 feet by. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we read ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn Let us now enter a brief time of communal silence, the time in our service where we lift up and hold the cares and challenges and concerns that we each may be facing. During this time that we make for our hearts and our spirits, I invite you to participate either by sharing any joys or sorrows or significant milestones of your own in the comments section, or by sitting quietly. May we hold all these and all cares and concerns still unspoken in the loving embrace of our community. May we also feel held. Here is our prayer, using the words of Matt Alspag. Breathe with me the breath of life. Inhale, inspire, inspiration. Rauch, Pneuma, Spiritus, the Holy Spirit, the many names for breath.
Breathe with me. Know that with each breath we take in molecules of air that were breathed by every person in the world.
Breathe with me, and breathe the breath of Jesus, of Moses, of Muhammad, of the Buddha.
Breathe with me, and know that we are all interdependent, that the spirit of life flows through us all.
Breathe with me as we come together to do the holy work of interconnection and relationship, that our work here may be blessed. Amen.
Now let us join in singing Meditation on Breath, number 1009 in the Teal hymnal. The words will be on the screen. chamber music that you like?
Well, during the pandemic, I have to say, it was chamber music that kept me sane. My friends and I would get together and we were able to communicate and be happy playing music, and it was such a wonderful source of joy and community.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Getting together and sharing music with somebody else. It's a very different thing than doing it by yourself.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can go anywhere in the world and call a chamber music society and say, can we play? And you can play, because you can all read the music.
Doesn't matter what language.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how old you are. It's a wonderful intergenerational thing. When I first played chamber music, I was in high school and I played with parents of friends of mine, and even a teacher from my school, and it was just wonderful, wonderful.
So Betsy, how long have you been playing chamber music, and how is it different from orchestra playing?
Oh, it's completely different from orchestra playing, which is wonderful in its own way, but you are really especially as a string player, if you're not the leader, you're a small cog in a big machine, while when you're playing chamber music, each person, you're playing together, but you're soloists, and you get to do things with the music. Well, we get to decide what we're doing with the music. The conductor doesn't decide what we're doing with the music, so that's kind of it's a whole different thing.
Very different. Yeah. And Carol, what about you? Compare it with solo playing, solo violins.
Oh my gosh. Well, solo playing is, to me, hugely stressful because everything's on me and maybe my pianist. But chamber music is shared. And so it's not, even playing first violin, which is very soloistic, it's a giving and taking and sharing. And that's, to me, that's what I enjoy so much about music.
One of the things I really love is that if it's just me playing solos, I have to make all the decisions. And if I'm conducting an orchestra or a chorus, again, I'm supposed to be the leader and shape the music. But with chamber music, it really is this shared thing. Even if one person is more talkative about, we should do this way, we should do that, it always becomes something that's formed by the group of the people, because we all have our own ideas and they come to the fore. One will start a retard and the rest will come with, one will make a crescendo and the rest will go with.
And somebody will think of something that you never would have thought of.
Yes. I think that's probably the best thing. Because, we've all studied music for a long time and none of us know all the secrets or all the right answers.
And of course, we get to play the music of geniuses.
Yes.
We're so lucky to get to do that.
Yeah, we are.
And to do it together.
Yes.
To do it together,
Yes.
I feel very lucky.
Yes, me too, definitely.
Thank you both.
Definitely.
Gospel music and spirituals reach deep inside me, and I love to sing them. They've helped me walk through hard times, and they carry me in joy. Singing in general lifts my spirits, and singing with others, hearing each other's voice, has special power. After 16 months of pandemic separation, we choir members can vouch for that. For my 70th birthday celebration, various dear friends consented to contribute their dance and music. I'd been singing in a women's community chorus for some years at that point, and 4 of us had spun off a quartet. We had become very close, singing 4-part harmony under the guidance of our mentor, Libby McLaren. We learned to lean in and blend, listen and respond. The thrill in those hours was feeling how singing together opened our hearts. To my delight, all 4 women agreed to perform for my birthday, even though Libby would be flying back from Paris the night before. We chose to sing Blackbird by Paul McCartney, a favorite of ours, not only for its melody and lyrics, blackbirds singing in the dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird, fly into the light of the dark black night. But also because Libby had written the arrangement. It wasn't only a song, it was a gift of love in every direction. Community. Here's a short clip of Deborah, Molly, Susan, and me singing Blackbird on my 70th birthday, accompanied by Libby. Please forgive the amateur singing and the very poor video quality, even a thumb. I hope it's the feeling that comes across.
All right.
I learned recently from Lonnie Mosley that McCartney had a black woman in mind rather than a bird when he wrote Blackbird. I had not known that. It turns out he was inspired in part by the Little Rock Nine, the Black students who integrated Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957, who faced jeering, harassment, and intimidation day after day. Paul wanted to honor them and all the courageous Black men and women in the American Civil Rights Movement. He has commented, quote, "This was really a song from me to a Black woman experiencing these problems in the States. It made me want to write a song that, if it ever got back to the people going through those troubles, it might just help them a little bit." End quote. For me, the power and truth of spirituals and gospel music leads directly to working for social justice. My own volunteer work for voting rights is spiritually grounded in the faith tradition that powered Dr. King and the Little Rock Nine, and in the music that fed their souls. The music and the message fill my heart and lodge in my bones. When I can sing with others, feel the community, that's the best. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining in to talk about singing in choirs, because you all are very accomplished singers and could spend all your days just singing solos and not playing with other people. What is it that you find so appealing about choral music or duets or any kind of singing with other people?
Well, I'll start with a simple connection back to my misspent childhood. I used to play an orchestra. I wasn't the greatest trombone player, but I was good, and I had a good ear. So I really enjoyed playing with other people, and I enjoyed the time in a sort of immersive ensemble like that, where you're surrounded by sounds, and you know, when you're back in the trombone section, you get a lot of time to think and count measures, but you also get time to socialize and to think about what other people are doing, playing, and how they make their music. I got to experience music with other people, which I really loved doing. And I got to listen to them more than I had the opportunity to play, which was also a good thing for me.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, because my introduction to music was through band, and I played clarinet and saxophone in junior high and high school. In terms of singing, what I really enjoy about singing in the chorus is that it's a shared experience. You're doing something, you're making music, which is, you know, wonderful in itself, but you're sharing this experience with people, and I think it's one of the few times where you're all at the same place at the same time. Everybody is sharing this experience together at the same time, and act of making music collectively with people, I think it's just very enjoyable.
Michelle, did you play in band?
I was a violinist, and we had a string orchestra, and what was magical about that experience was being in a community where the first violin I had known since elementary school, but as we got older, it became clear that I was not a person. I was a persona non grata in the halls outside of the orchestra room, but inside the orchestra room, we could have a conversation with our violins. We could be in the same place at the same time, and so we could share this. We could have a really deep, intimate conversation that was just so fun and so playful, and we could tell jokes. We could make mistakes and laugh at the other person. You know, we just, it was a way of being together that was that was okay. Thinking about singing in a choir, the thing that I love about it is, again, that feeling of being part of a whole, of being part of a harmony. Yeah. Even though as a soprano, I'm oftentimes singing the melody, but I love it when I love singing second soprano. I love feeling like I'm in a harmony. And when it's really great, I feel like I'm in an easy chair. I feel like I can just kind of lean back and be in this place, held by everything and everybody else that's going on. And it's like out of time, and it's free.
That's great. Thank you all. And what about, imagine just being in a choir singing Mozart or Ola Yelo or something else,
what's wonderful about singing, great music with other people is that when we're singing together in a chorus, it's like everybody is equal. Almost nothing like singing in harmony with another. I think I am most happy when I'm singing with other people.
As we commit together to making this a loving community, we take time to remember that UUCB needs our gifts and support. We invite you now to make an offering. Each week, half our offering is shared with a good neighbor organization that needs our financial support. We urge you to continue to practice generosity with our good neighbors during this pandemic. This month in August, our good neighbor is the Diablo Valley College START program. Diablo Valley College START program is a foster youth success initiative support program designed to increase access, retention, and graduation rates for current or former foster youth at DVC. Its goal is to provide a warm and welcoming environment, create a support network, and empower foster youth students to make progress towards self-sufficiency, professional success, and community leadership. Your offering of any value is received with gratitude. Details on how to give electronically will appear on your screen as the offertory begins. Thank you. Please join me in dedicating our offering. We dedicate our offering and ourselves to the mission of this congregation, to create loving community, inspire spiritual growth, and encourage lives of integrity, joy, and service. It's been good to be together today on Music Sunday. Remember to check out our website, uucb.org, to explore the things our congregation has to offer, even during the pandemic. You can find links in News to the week ahead and Beacon on the Hill, which are great sources of information. Also, under Learning, you'll find archived personal theology talks and support for experiences of grief. Under Justice, you can find opportunities for volunteering and connection with others. Our homepage has a blog by our Honoring Indigenous Peoples group and links to recent past services you may have missed. We're a vibrant community. My one announcement today is to say that Reverend Michelle will be back leading our worship service next Sunday, preaching about accidental heroes. Please tune in and bring your heroic selves. And now, please join in singing our closing song, Turn the World Around. The words will be on screen.
There are two lines from the Chinese poet Wang Bo that have stayed with me because I love them and they've seemed so relevant over the last 16 months. If I have a friend who knows my heart, distance can't keep us two apart. And I'd like to return to the words we heard at the opening by Khalil Gibran. Music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life and brings peace. May you know peace.